Hello everyone, welcome to Save the Date. Alright, when it comes to what this game is actually about, I'm not entirely sure. From what I've read, it's supposed to be a game that, well, when you start it out, it seems very simple. But the further you go into it, the more crazy and interesting and unique it becomes. So I just know that it kind of goes off the rails and becomes something very unique. I don't know in what way. I just know that apparently it does. So I'm really interested to dive into this and see what the hell happens, because I've heard a lot about it. This game is completely free, by the way. I'll have a link to where you can play it for yourself in the description. And as is usual with my playstyle, I'm going to go slow, and I tend to analyze things, especially towards the end. And that's all I can think of to mention. So, let's dive into it. Start game. Phone's ringing. Who's there? It's Felicia. Hello? Oh, you're early. You must be calling about tonight? I meant to ask where we were meeting. I know we were planning on having dinner, but we never decided where. Alright. Burgers, Thai food, tacos, or I don't think I want to meet up tonight after all. Which, to my mind, sounds like this option would just end the game outright. I don't know. How about burgers? Sounds good. See you at the Burger Shack. Oh wow, everything smells so good. I had my doubts when you mentioned this place. It's out of the way, and in kind of a sketchy neighborhood. But this looks great. I think I'll have the bacon burger, with extra ketchup. What are you having? Swiss cheese with mushrooms, yum. Your meal is served, and you both dig in. After a few bites, she stops eating and looks wistful. My dad would have loved this place. He would have been right at home. He really loved burgers. And this place has great ambiance. She sighs and pokes at her burger. Oh, well, I can't just ignore it. What happened to your dad? She rewards your question with a brittle smile. He left Mom and me when I was 6. She looks directly at you for the first time since the meal was served. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to dump it on you out of the blue. I'm just not used to thinking about him. I honestly don't think it's ever come up since we moved here. Mom still tries to call him sometime, but it's easier if I just don't think about him. She gives you a much warmer smile this time. But enough about my personal soap opera life. I refuse to be upset in the face of such delicious hamburgers. She takes another big bite out of her burger. So, I've been thinking lately about school and what comes after. You can hear some kind of commotion coming from outside. Felicia cranes her neck to try to see. What's going on? Is something happening out there? It sounded like someone shouting. Suddenly, there's a loud noise from outside, a succession of loud bangs, like a string of firecrackers going off. It takes you a moment for the red stain spreading across her shirt to register. Felicia looks down in uncomprehending shock. I think I've been shot? Then, ever so slowly, she crumples into the booth. You're vaguely aware of more sounds of gunfire from outside, but all you can hear is Felicia's labored breathing, each ragged breath sounding louder than anything else in the world. It might have been minutes or centuries later when the ambulance arrives. A kind man with sad eyes loads her into the gurney and rushes her off. He tells you not to worry and that everything will be all right, but you both know he's lying. You heard the ragged breathing stop, and you saw the light fade from her eyes. You never do find out what caused the gunfight in the street. Some gang scuffle, or a drug deal gone wrong, or something. All you saw was the terrible aftermath. The end! Your date has ended in disaster. Okay, what do I need to do? Save the date. Let's avoid dying. Let's try that again. Alright. I wonder if I can avoid dying if I go to the burger place or if I need to go somewhere else. Let's try it again. Alright, let's order something different. I'll have a cheddar cheeseburger with bacon. So let's talk to her again about her dad. Mm-hmm. I believe this is where the game gets very, very special. Okay, this is important. I need you to duck. Now. She stares at you blankly for a moment, not sure if you're joking or not, and then awkwardly hunches over. There is a loud sound from outside, and an explosion of plaster showers down from the wall she was sitting in front of moments ago. Oh my god, was that gunfire? Did you just save my life? What? How did you know that was going to happen? Ooh, one of these options, I reloaded from a save game, is actually not correct. I actually did not. I started a new game. But this actually just reminded me I should probably save. There we go. I'm a wizard. Are you serious? Got you. No, just kidding. Suddenly, everything goes white, and you're flying through the air. Wait, what? Then everything goes black. You find out later, from the hospital, that there was a gas explosion. Striking with the luck of the mindless, one of the bullets managed to hit the fuel line for the gas ovens. You were shaken and bruised, but ultimately okay. Sadly, the same cannot be said for Felicia. The best that the doctors will tell you is that at least it was quick. But sadly, she did not survive. The end. Your date ended in disaster. Let's reload. I'm psychic. No, I'm being serious, you dork. How did you know? No, really, like ESPN stuff. Here, I'll prove it. Think of a number. Alright, I'll play along. Okay, got one. What's your guess? 3. Ha, got you. It was -8. I'm gonna write that down. No one ever guesses negative numbers. Oh, and this is happening again. Alright, what if I try that again? Will her actual answer show up, or do I have to start a new game? -8. Okay, that was luck. Do it again. I've got a new number. Alright, let me save again. -2,764? Wrong. It was 7.553. If you're a real mind reader, you'd have known. Decimal points are the natural enemies of frauds, you know. I should have known this was all a trick. I think I'm going home. I'm still a little bit rattled by tonight, and I want to get some sleep. You finish your burgers and head out. You haven't made it more than a foot from the door, though, when a car crashes into the front of the restaurant. Unfortunately, the two of you are directly in its path. You are flung to the side, but Felicia is not so lucky. The ambulance arrives quickly, but she doesn't even make it to the hospital before succumbing to internal bleeding and a punctured lung. Wonderful. Let's try that again. 7.553. Okay. It's getting harder to explain these by luck. That's actually kind of creepy. Let's assume for the moment that I believe you. Why are you telling me this? What's this all about? I'm here to try to protect you. An aura of death surrounds you. Oh. That doesn't sound good at all. So then what do we do now? Now we finish dinner. That's a plan I can get behind. So, if you don't mind me asking, what's it like being a psychic? Ah, damn it, the damn gas explosion again. I think we should leave now. You're the one who's psychic. Let's head out. This place has me a little rattled anyway. You finish your burgers and head out. Ah, get fucking car. How do I avoid it? Is there any way I can avoid it here? Alright, if we try to finish dinner, we die. Or she dies. Or we both die? I don't remember. And if we leave, at least she dies. There's no option to tell her to move. What else can I do? I wonder if I can't go any further with the burger pathway. Oh, here we go. Changing plans. We can't go out to dinner tonight. It's too dangerous. What do you mean too dangerous? Is this some kind of weird joke you're playing on me? I can never really tell when you're joking, or when you really mean something. The third option. You're in terrible danger. Come with me if you want to live. Yeah, let's go with that. Nice. But seriously, where are we getting dinner? No, for real. We can't go to dinner. It's too dangerous. Is this some kind of weird death threat? What's going on? You're kind of starting to creep me out here. It's complicated, but no, I'm not kidding. You're in terrible danger, and we need to get you somewhere safe. Okay, this is all pretty weird. I mean, you seem pretty insistent that dinner tonight would be disastrous. And I feel like I'd be an idiot to just ignore someone talking about me dying. But this isn't the kind of thing that happens in real life, you know? Someone I've known for a while just coming up and telling me that I'm going to die tonight? I mean, what's going to happen? What makes you think I'm going to die? We're going to dinner, for goodness sakes, not a war zone. What's the worst that could happen at a simple dinner? Well, you might get hit by a car after we leave. You worry too much. That's clearly not going to happen. Where did you even come up with that? Have you just been sitting home today coming up with things that could go wrong tonight? Lighten up. We're just having dinner. There's not a whole lot that can actually go wrong with dinner. No, really, you're going to die. What can I do to convince you that this is a bad idea? Okay, let me turn it around then. What can you do to convince me that going to dinner is a bad idea? Sitting here at home, after a completely near-death experience-free day, it's hard to imagine anything really bad happening like you're saying. So what can you say to make me believe you that actually I'm in terrible danger and somehow you're the only one who knows anything about it? Okay. Well, how about this? Go pick a random number or phrase or something. There's a pause, and the sound of someone rifling through the pages of a book. Okay, we'll play along. I'm not sure what this will prove, though. I have a book here. I've just opened it up to a random page. Now what? Now, tell me what page you're on. Okay. Are we doing some kind of fortune cookie thing here? I'm on page 144. The first sentence is, "What's pulling wobblers mean?" he said. Not sure what that says about our future, but there it is. So, now what? Actually, I think I know what. I think I'm going to go have dinner. I think you've successfully convinced me that we shouldn't have dinner together. I'm just too weirded out now. We'll talk about this later, I guess. This has all been very strange. After a few moments, there's the sound of an airplane, getting closer and closer, followed by one of the loudest noises you've ever heard. The TV in the background switches to an emergency report about the plane crash and fires that are happening right now. Even before the news confirms it, though, you have a pretty good idea exactly who the plane crashed on top of. You didn't even get to have a date, and it still ended in disaster. I think I saved at the wrong point. Yeah, let's try that again. Okay. Too dangerous. Alright, let's go with the same route. Yep. Hit by a car. What can I do to convince you? Alright. Just leave the safe here, go pick a random number phrase or something. Alright. Okay, you open to page 144. The top of the page reads, "What's pulling wobblers mean?" he said. There's stunned silence for a moment. How did you... Are you... looking into my room somehow? That's really not cool, okay? Really not cool. I think we're done here. I'm not having dinner with a weirdo stalker. Good night. Oh god, the airplane again. Fuck. Is there any way I can avoid that by going here? Okay. I know that you still miss your dad and you used to fantasize about getting him and your mother back together. Why would you even bring that up? And how do you even know about that? Have you been talking to Mom? Or stalking me or something? I'm not sure I'm comfortable with you digging around in my personal life like that. I think I'm gonna call off dinner tonight. You've at least creeped me out enough to get out of dinner at any rate. I'm gonna go find something myself. We'll talk more tomorrow, I guess. Ah, the damn airplane again. Fucking airplane. The bane of my existence. Or her existence, rather. Okay. I'm not sure if this avenue's gonna work. Save the date. How do I save the fucking date? I just want to save the date. Who knew it would be so hard to save the date? If we go out for dinner, she dies. We survive the dinner. We go outside of the dinner, we die. Or she dies. I tell her to stay home, she dies. Can I tell her to, like, leave? No, it's not gonna work. Okay, what do I do? Alright, well, if we go to the burger place, I know she's gonna die. If she stays, I know she's gonna die, so let's go somewhere else. How about Thai food? Oh, I've never had Thai. That sounds fun. I've always wanted to try Thai food. This will be fun. Are you ready to order? I think so. This picture for pad thai looks amazing. I think I'll have that. What are you having? Oh, by the way, I should mention I have no idea how to, like, properly pronounce that. I've heard pad thai, I've heard pad thai, I don't know. I'm gonna go with pad thai. I'd like some yellow curry with chicken, I think. That sounds pretty good too. But no, I'm sticking with my first choice. Eventually, dinner arrives, and Felicia dives into her meal with surprising gusto. Oh, this is delicious. We should have done this a long time ago. I'm so glad we were able to meet tonight. Do you know why I wanted to do this? No. Well, she actually looks flustered for a moment. I've been really wanting to ask you... Well... Sorry, this is hard to say. Felicia pauses for a moment and takes a deep breath. Really hard to say. I'm not feeling... Were there peanuts in that dish or something? I don't... She topples face first into her food. The rest of the evening is a blur of ambulances and yelling, but somehow you feel like you already know what is coming. You're not really surprised when the ashen-faced medical technician comes to tell you what you already basically know. Felicia had a severe peanut allergy, and it killed her. The end. Oh, I need to go back more to tell her not to order that dish, right? I don't think there's any way out of it if I go, here, let's try this again. Okay, I need to go back. Okay. Here we go. Actually, the patai has peanuts in it. Which actually usually does, by the way. I think every patai I've ever had has peanuts in it. Wait, for real? Oh, wow. I'm glad you told me. I'm actually, like, super allergic to peanuts. That could have been really bad. Actually, it was kind of silly how they found out. When I was little, I saw elephants on TV, and decided that I wanted to be an elephant when I grew up. So I ate some peanuts that my dad had left out. And my face swelled up and got all puffy, and I was convinced that this was me turning into an elephant, just like I'd planned. So I stumbled into the living room with my face like twice its normal size and slurred out, "Look, Mama! Look, Dada! I'm gonna be an elephant!" After I got back from the emergency room, we laughed about that for years. She looks almost wistful. But how did you know I was allergic? I don't think I've ever told anyone at school. I reloaded from a save game. What is that supposed to mean? I don't understand what you just said. What exactly do you mean, reloaded? I mean, this is a video game. You died. I got a game over, and so I hit reload so I could try different choices. That sounds kind of far-fetched. But wow, it would be nice to just be able to hit reload on our mistakes, huh? So don't take this the wrong way, but I still think you're sort of full of it. Although I do really appreciate the part where you know, saved my life and all. But I don't understand why you'd then turn around and give such an implausible explanation for how you did it. This whole thing just feels like one big setup, or a super elaborate practical joke. Like, as soon as I do something embarrassing, like saying that I believe you, a hidden cameraman will jump out and there will be streamers. And the next thing I know, I'm the next YouTube sensation. Global girl with 6 million hits. Okay then. Here's what we'll do. Think of a word. An interesting one. Okay, got one. Now what? Now tell me what it is. What? This is a pretty lame trick. I mean, the word was peristalsis? I have no idea what that means. But just asking me for it straight up isn't very impressive. Really? It's not impressive? Are you sure about that, Felicia? Okay, it was peristalsis. Can we move on now? What? How did you... That's really eerie. So, okay. Let's assume that I accept for the moment that there's at least enough weird crap going on that I should take things at face value. What is this all about? Huh, there's a lot of options here. There's a lot of options here. I could go with any one of these. I'm trying to figure out how to stop you from dying all the time. But didn't you already do that? You already saved my life tonight. Aren't we in the clear now? I don't know what happens here. This is the first time I've gotten this far. So you get to experience this fresh, like the rest of us mortals? Well, guess we'll see what happens next. What's our next move? Well, I don't want to get your hopes up. I don't know for sure what happens next, but based on past experiences, it's still probably you dying. Oh. That's kind of crappy. Suddenly the restaurant is full of yelling, and there are shiny pieces of metal flying everywhere. Your last thought is something like, why are there ninjas in a Thai restaurant? Ninjas are Japanese, before you are hit on the head with the nunchuck, and everything goes dark. You never do find out what the attack was all about. Some kind of underworld power struggle? Oddly themed gang warfare? Sinister Naruto cosplayers? In the end, it doesn't really matter. 12 people died in the attack. Felicia was one of them. And you never even found out what it was about. Alrighty then. I need you to help me solve a puzzle. I think I know what to do, but you keep accusing me of being a crazy stalker. Seriously? You're serious? What in the world were you doing to make me think you were a stalker? I told you things I picked up from other save load sessions, but you figured I must have been stalking you to know them. Ah, yeah. That makes sense. I am pretty paranoid. And if you dump that on me all at once, I'd probably freak out. I mean, I'm kind of freaked out as it is, but I think I'm at least to the point where I'm willing to accept that something weird is going down, you know? So I guess the trick is, how do you convince me to trust you in a hurry? That's kind of a tough one. I guess you'd need to be able to tell me something non-threatening, but also mysterious enough to pique my interest. So even if I wasn't sure how you did it, I'd be interested enough to play along, huh? And if I'm calling you a crazy stalker, then it would need to be something that you couldn't possibly know, even if you were stalking me. So, let me think. This is hard. How about something totally random, like, I don't know, your favorite professional wrestler? Seriously? I can't tell if you're joking or not. She shows you her backpack. On the back, you can see now it has hand-embroidered letters, reading Macho Man Randy Savage Forever. Sorry. Yeah, that one wouldn't be too hard for someone to guess. I'll see if I can think of something better. Maybe... Oh! I've got an idea. I had a sort of secret name for one of my favorite places, actually. It's up on Moores Hill, outside of town. I don't think I've ever told anyone this, but in my head at least, I always called it the local Hogwarts pickup stop. I may have had fantasies about being carried off to Hogwarts when I was little. Don't judge me. Anyway, I'm nearly positive I never told anyone about it. Will that do? Perfect. That should do the trick. Yay! I'm glad I could help. So this will help save my life? Suddenly the... Oh god, we're back here again. Alright, when do I tell her that? Okay, what about your local Hogwarts pickup stop? Oh wow, that takes me back. Wow, how did you even know about that? Oh, right, you're a... Yeah, never mind. Okay, let me think. Yeah, I think that should work. I'm pretty sure that was never important enough to ever write down, even in my diary. And I certainly would have been too embarrassed to mention it to anyone. If you need to get me to trust you, or at the very least to pique my interest, that should do the trick. I mean, I already trust you now, More so after the whole life-saving bit. But I bet if you mentioned the Hogwarts pickup, you'd get my attention even if we hadn't gone out to dinner yet and had such an interesting evening. Perfect. That should do the trick. Okay. And she's dead again. Alright, start a new game. Alright, when do I tell it to her? Well, that's to make her stop thinking I'm a creepy stalker, so let's go with this again. Too dangerous. Oh, here we go. Actually, there's been a slight change in plan. Meet me at the local Hogwarts pickup stop, and I'll tell you all about it. Why can't you tell me now? Wait. How do you even know about the local Hogwarts pickup stop? Are we talking about the same place? Let me think. No, I'm positive I never told anyone about that. I didn't even write it in my diary. There's literally no way you could have known about that. The thing that you just said. It's not scientifically possible. You are not scientifically possible. But you've got me really curious now. Something weird is clearly going on around here. And it involves my secret Hogwarts pickup stop, so I aim to get to the bottom of it. Okay, so here's what we'll do. I'll go to that spot now. You'll come and meet me there. If we end up at the same spot, the spot which there's no possible way you could have known about, then you'll have a lot of explaining to do. There's a click as the phone is hung up. You head directly out to Moores Hill, only to find Felicia has gotten there ahead of you. Given that she lives further away, you assume this means she was in a hurry. The hill is peaceful, and the stars are just starting to come out. You can see the whole town spread out in front of you. Felicia doesn't say anything until you approach, and doesn't even seem to be looking at you. Only after you sit down next to her does she finally acknowledge your presence. Alright. I'm here. And you have some explaining to do. Let's start with the big question. Just what exactly is going on? Tell me the truth. You can't handle the truth. Well, see, I'm a wizard. I'm just gonna tell her the truth. Everything here, including you, is a video game that I'm playing. Go on. How does that explain you knowing things I've never told anyone? You did tell me, in an earlier playthrough. So it was me that told you, and I just don't remember it. Because it didn't happen in this session or something. I guess that makes sense in a Twilight Zone sort of way. So what's all this about? This game, I mean. What are you trying to do in it? A lot of options here. And it almost seems like all of these are true. Like any one of these could be a true option for me. It's true, I do want to see as much of the game as I can, and I haven't explored this path yet. And it's true that I'm trying to keep her alive. And it's true that I'm trying to find a good ending. You keep dying in stupid ways, and then the game ends. I'm trying to figure out how to keep you alive. Oh. That's pretty dark. So does that mean I wouldn't have survived if we'd gone out to dinner like we'd planned? What exactly would have happened at dinner? Occasionally you got killed by ninjas. Well, you died in a lot of stupid ways. Oh, that's pretty vague. Wait a minute. From the way you said that, exactly how many times have you had to watch me die? I've lost count, honestly. Oh, that bad, huh? So, let me get this straight. You're playing a game. A game in which I seem destined to die if we go out to dinner. So this time, you convinced me to come here instead of going to dinner because if we go to dinner, I'm basically doomed. So, what does that mean now? Says we didn't go to dinner, am I in the clear? Well, I haven't seen this one yet, but I'm hopeful. Well, you're apparently the expert in me dying, so that's probably a good sign. So now what? I guess we just talk and see what happens? This is all too big to take in at once, almost. I'm kind of out of my depth here. She laughs suddenly. I was going to say that I've never been in this situation before, so I'm not really sure how to react. But if what you're saying is true, I've been in this situation a lot of times so far. I still don't know how to react, though. I'm kind of in shock and going on autopilot. I really want to not believe you about any of this, but somehow, I know you're telling me the truth. Well, here we are. We've successfully cheated death, even if it's only for a little bit. What should we talk about? Hey, look over there, at the burger shack. In the night's stillness, the sound of gunshots is quite clear, even from far away. Several blinking police lights appear and trace their way towards the burger shack. Just as they start to arrive, there's a bright flash and another loud noise. The burger shack now seems to be very much on fire. You know, I had been thinking about asking you if you wanted to do burgers tonight. Guess I can now see how that would have turned out. The night silence surrounds you. The time is about right. Check out the Thai restaurant. For a moment, neither of you can really see anything amiss. But then a motion catches your eye. Felicia obviously sees it too. At first, it just looks like shadows flowing from rooftop to rooftop. What are those ninjas? Yeah. If we'd had Thai food, you would have been killed when they attacked the restaurant. But that's stupid. Ninjas are Japanese. Why would they show up at a Thai restaurant? This game of yours is kind of absurd, you know? The ninjas leap from rooftop to rooftop, almost eerie in the fluidity of their motion. When they reach the roof of the Thai restaurant, they regroup, and then, in one smooth movement, flip over the roof and into the windows. The faint sound of yelling reaches you atop the hill. Suddenly, there's a light, and movement in the sky. A moment later, another. And then the sky is full of them. Shooting stars, raining from the sky. Your own personal celestial fireworks display. Oh, this is beautiful. Did you know these would be here? Is this why you picked this spot? She gazes up in silent wonder. One of the shooting stars catches your eye. It looks especially bright. Oh. I think I might see where this is going. Anyone else think maybe it's going towards, Will anyone else see that maybe something isn't going, but more coming? Oh wow. Look at that one. With a monstrous roaring noise, it gets bigger and bigger. There is a flash and a boom that you feel through your feet as much as your ears. When you can see again, there's a smoking crater centered almost exactly where Felicia was sitting. Her hat, still on fire, gently drifts to the ground at your feet. It's the only thing that survived the meteor's impact. Son of a bitch. I almost got out of it. Oh. Alright. What do I do to avoid that? Dear God. Do I just go there again and then tell her to move? I guess so. Alright, let's get there again. Alright. She only died a lot of stupid ways. Apparently the game is actually keeping count. 17 times in 7 different ways, because last time this was 16 times in 6 different ways. So it actually is updating. Let's go with this. Jeez. I had no idea. And you counted each one? No, the game just gave me that number and I'm trusting that it got it right. Yep, that's exactly what I just did. Oh. I can't decide if that makes the whole thing more macabre or less. Wow, these options actually don't reflect reality. I actually know she's going to die here if I don't do something. All of these say I don't know. I'll go with what I did before. I'm hopeful. Actually, you should come sit on the other side of the bench. Oh, okay. More cheating death, I assume. A shooting star is going to land right about where you're sitting in a few minutes. Wait, seriously? Is it just me, or are these deaths getting more and more improbable? She moves over to the opposite side of the bench. So if that death is averted, what kills me after that? Or am I in the clear? I don't know yet. This is new to me too. Oh, exciting. But given that I've already died several times today, you'll understand if I remain a bit on edge. Alright, Thai restaurant. Mm-hmm. Alright. It's looking especially bright. Alright, there's a smoking crater about 10 feet across, centered almost exactly where Felicia had been sitting before she moved. Well, that was exciting. You even warned me and everything, and it was still scary. The shooting stars continue their silent, fiery cascade across the sky. Oh, what's that? Look, the stars are changing color. You look up and realize she's right. Now the shooting stars are changing. Where before they were just quick, white scratches against the sky, now they are slower streaks, of all different colors. They seem to be moving more slowly as well. One of the larger ones passes almost directly overhead. It looks a little odd, though. It almost seems like... Oh, come on. Flying saucers? Seriously? I don't mean to criticize, but this game of yours is not even pretending to take itself seriously anymore. At that moment, there's a blinding green light and a sound not unlike a giant rubber band twanging. A shaft of light lances down from one of the saucers overhead and bathes you both in greenish radiance. You have just enough time to hear Felicia mutter, "Seriously?" before you are both reduced to stardust by the alien's cosmic rays. Let's try that again. No, this is just a temporary measure. Buys you like another 5 minutes tops. Figures. So what gets me next time? Okay, if you insist. You die when the aliens invade. Aliens? Like from across the border? Or the space kind? For real. You're serious. This day just keeps getting less and less plausible. Okay, so there will be space aliens. What comes after that? I don't know yet. Got it. One thing at a time, I guess. Actually, let's talk about this game. I'm hoping you can help me to figure out what to do next, since I'm running out of ideas. Okay. I confess a certain amount of interest in the topic. Where do you want to start? What am I missing here? Well, according to you, what you're missing is the answer to a puzzle. Although if you want my opinion, I think you might also be missing a clear idea of exactly what it'll look like when you find it. But let's think through it. You've gotten this far by saving and loading your games to make sure that you never make mistakes, right? But now you're worried that there might not actually be a choice you can make that leads to what you want. If you've reached the end of what you can accomplish with good choices, then all that's left are bad choices, right? What else can you do, right? If your choices are all bad ones, then you either have to pick one anyway, or stop playing by the game's rules. She nervously fiddles with her hat for a moment. Did you ever see the movie Groundhog Day? With Bill, what's his name? Murray? Murray? Bill Murray, I think. Yeah, I remember that movie. Oh, cool. Wasn't that a great movie? Anyway, I'm just thinking about how that movie ended. He kept doing all the things with the townsfolk and making changes, but ultimately, he couldn't get out until he changed himself in some way. I wonder if this is sort of like that. Obviously, it isn't a perfect analogy. But maybe the choice you need to win isn't something that you can do, but rather something you have to be. Suddenly there's a light, and movement in the sky. A moment later, another, and then the sky is full of them. Maybe it's not something I need to do, but something I need to be. What does that mean? Something I need to be. I mean, I suppose instead of doing something at the moment, there's an option to be silent. Am I stretching it too far, though? Being silent instead of doing something? Say nothing and watch the falling stars? I wish I knew what this is all about. That's a pretty big question. I assume you mean about the game you're playing, but you have to admit, game or no game, is the right kind of question to be pondering on a hilltop, watching shooting stars. Heck, I can't even see the game. I mean, I see the absurd things that have been going on tonight, and your explanation rings true and all. But from my point of view, I'm not in a game, and it's still a good question. Maybe the answers are the same. You're basically asking, why do bad things happen, right? That's something people have been asking forever. Maybe, but the bad things seem pretty darn determined in your case. Yeah, I guess they do, don't they? Maybe we're asking the wrong question then. After all, the game is clearly about something. I don't know what the game looks like from your end, but from mine, well, I can't see anyone going through the trouble of making a game as weird as this, without having something on their mind that they wanted to say. Say, what does the game look like anyway? To me, it just looks like, life. What's it like for you? It's actually a pretty crappy game. I don't want to talk about it. Well, it's set up like a visual novel. It's made in the RenPy engine. I see pictures and I pick choices from a menu. Also, I'm running it in windowed mode. Oh, that sounds pretty low budget. That's too bad. If I'm not actually real and my whole existence is actually a lie, and all that, it would be nice to at least know it was a high budget lie with nice graphics. Oh, here's the shooting star. How do we avoid the aliens? Can we? I wish I could figure out how to win this. Do you have any ideas? I don't know. I mean, you've done a reasonable job so far, right? Apparently you've saved me from a lot of things that might have happened. So I guess you're doing okay so far. Yeah, but that's just me figuring out how to not lose. I still don't know how to win. That's true, I guess. Although I guess one question I have is, what do you mean, win? What would winning a game like this mean? What exactly are you looking to get out of this? Oh, this game is brilliant. That is a very good question. Really, why am I playing this? What am I looking to get out of this? I don't know. A simple congratulations would be hollow. I guess I'm just looking for an ending different from all the others, ideally where you don't die. Are you really just waiting for the game to pat you on the head and say, well done, you finally did the right thing? Well, how about this? I'm part of the game, right? Can I do it? Here. Congratulations, a winner is you. You have beaten the game. Well done. I assume that made the message you were looking for show up on your screen. No, not really. That's too bad. I guess I'm not official enough or something? I'd go grab my top hat and monocle, but I doubt I have time at this point. So... you seem convinced that it's even possible to win this game. How do you know that a good ending even exists? Once again, all of these options are kind of true. Well, I don't know, except for the first one. Making a game with no good endings would be kind of a dick move. I don't agree with that at all. Not everything has to have a happy ending. But the others, certainly. Really, why? Why am I doing this? Not having one would be like making a maze with no exits. What would the point be? Okay, but what's the point of getting out of a maze? Really, what's the point? The point of getting out of a maze is to get out of the maze? To win? But why do you care about winning? What does it even mean? I'm seriously thinking about that. What the hell does it mean? There's kind of an implicit contract when someone gives you a puzzle that it has a solution. True. But not everything can be solved. At least not in the real world. But this is a game. This isn't the real world. I'm gonna take a drink of water and ponder. There's kind of an implicit contract when someone gives you a puzzle that has a solution. That's usually true, I guess. I wonder if the author of the game agrees with you. I guess you could make a puzzle that was missing a piece or something, if you were trying to make a statement. Like a box of jigsaw pieces missing a single piece, as a pretentious art installation. I don't know. Does this game feel pretentious to you? You can actually tell the game yes. At the moment, no. Maybe that's not it then. She leans back and goes quiet for a moment. Although, I guess if you have a box full of jigsaw pieces and you're missing a piece, the message might just be, look outside the box. Look outside the box. I feel like I've received 2 hints now. Look outside the box, and it's not something you can do, but something you have to be. Look outside the box. I mean, that makes me want to look outside of the literal game window, because it's running in a windowed mode, it's running in a box. Like, okay, I'm dragging the box around, I'm looking outside the box, and I see my desktop. Nope, nothing there. Why do you think you keep dying? Hey, that's kind of a personal question. She giggles. I don't know. I'm not really sure how to answer that. I mean, I haven't exactly been kicking over tombstones or tripping old gypsy ladies or anything lately. I can honestly say that this is a bit outside of my experience, so I don't really have an idea why it keeps happening. How'd you even go about diagnosing something like that? Excuse me, doctor, but can you tell me why I'm doomed? I mean, I don't know. Let's think about this. How does it usually work in video games? Maybe I'm just supposed to die a tragic death, like Ares or something. Wait, who's Ares? Wait, seriously? You never played Final Fantasy VII? No, I didn't. I'm not sure if we can be friends anymore. Fine, go get abducted then. Fuck you. I'm just kidding, please don't die. Well, anyway, she was a character in a game. She died, and everyone got really upset. Because, you know, it was kind of out of the blue. Back then, games usually only killed side characters, not core party members that you'd had time to become invested in. A lot of fans didn't take it well. They didn't like losing her, and didn't like realizing that there's absolutely nothing you could do to save her. Anyway, maybe it's like that. I'm supposed to die in order to, you know, embolden you, strengthen your resolve so you can complete your epic quest. But, on the other hand, if the game always ends right after I die, and if there are a bunch of ways I can die, then it does seem to imply that you're supposed to find a way to avoid it. She seems lost in thought for a moment, watching the falling stars streak across the sky. I suppose... I guess, don't take this the wrong way, but... you could say I keep dying because of you. But... on one hand, you could say I keep dying because we haven't figured out how to save me yet. But on a deeper level, you could say that I keep dying because you keep playing. For example, if you'd stopped after the first time I died, then I would have only died once. I'm not saying that's preferable, but what would happen to me, to the world, if you just stopped playing? Would I stay dead? What if you quit the game before I died? What happens to characters in a story if the storyteller stops before he's done? Look, I think your aliens have arrived. The city is burning. Sure enough, the air is now full of flying saucers, whizzing about. Several buildings are visibly on fire. I guess you're right about, well, all of this. It's probably safe to stop hoping that this is all some kind of trick or something. Somehow, though, I knew, ever since we came up here, that what you were saying was true. I'm glad we waited for it like this. It feels braver somehow. facing it head on. I guess this is the end. Got any last words for me? Are these actually literally going to be my last words? Because I want to ask the last one. But if my last words are a question, what's the point? She won't be able to answer. Goodbye. She actually smiles at that. It looks almost absurd, set against such a backdrop of destruction. You too. You take care, you hear? I hope you find what you're looking for. Yep. Flying saucers have us. You have just enough time to see Felicia flash you one last infectious grin before you are both reduced to stardust by the alien's cosmic rays. It feels like the end. But I don't know. I don't know. What do I do from here? That feels like the end of the game, but it seems like she gave me hints. I feel like there's more. There's got to be more, right? I don't know. This game makes me feel very, very strange, and also I think it's kind of really brilliant. Maybe it's not something you do, but something you need to be. Think outside the box. What if you shut down the game before she dies? I don't know what to do. Alright, what if I load my save game again? Is anything going to be different? Do you think this is the ending the author had in mind? How should I know? We've already established that I'm probably not a good source of insight into the author's mind. That being said, though, somehow I doubt it. Yeah. Me too. It feels like the end, kind of, but... I know there's more. There's gotta be more. But what do I do? I'm not sure what to do. I don't know where to go from here. You know, I have never done the taco night. Let's go for tacos. Hooray for taco night. This was a good idea. Everything is better with tacos. I've heard good things about this place, and I hear they got a new chef recently, too. And I really like how they're out on the docks like this. It's like we're eating right on the water. Where do you want to sit? Out on the patio, of course. The tables outside are popular, but your server manages to find a free one for the two of you. You take your seats and start looking at the menu. Okay, let's have some tacos. Do you have any recommendations? I hear their fish tacos are amazing, but I'm open to other options. What are you going to get? Fish tacos, you're right. They're to die for. You've convinced me. I'll have them too. I hope I don't sound obsessed to you, but for some reason I'm just really excited about tacos tonight. I'm not normally this obsessive, honest. Do you ever get like that? Obsess over some particular thing you want to the exclusion of everything else? Yeah, sometimes I can be pretty single-minded. Yeah, I guess. Oh, what's that? She points out the window. Are those dolphins? I think those are dolphins. You follow her as she runs to the railing to look out over the ocean. It is dolphins. Oh, I'm so glad we came here tonight. This is so awesome. Have you ever seen anything quite like it? No, this is incredible. She gazes out at the picturesque scene for a moment longer, and then several things happen all at once. Whoa, what's happening? Too quickly for you to react, and yet somehow with agonizing slowness, the railing, and in fact the whole patio, collapses into the sea. Felicia tries to jump for safety as soon as she feels everything begin to move. But she's not quite quick enough. You lose sight of her in the churning water amidst all the debris from the deck. That was the last time you saw her. The currents near there are known to be treacherous, and they never did manage to find a body. Let's try that again. How about near the window where we can see the water? The two of you sit down at the table near a giant window where you can look out over the water. The sun is just starting to set and the waves are turning gold-colored. The effect is quite beautiful. Okay, let's have some tacos. Do you have any recommendations? Fish tacos, of course. Mm-hmm. Oh no, she's going back to the railing. I guess we need to go into a booth, don't we? Actually, this is important. Take 2 steps to your left, right now. She turns around, obviously a bit surprised at your tone, but obediently takes a step to the left. What? Was I in the way or... Holy crap! The portion of the deck where she was just standing abruptly collapses into the water. I was almost standing there. Holy crap, that was close. I could have died. How did you know the deck was going to give, and that it was safe over here? I reloaded from a save game. What is that supposed to mean? I don't understand what you just said. Alright, so we're back to this kind of conversation. Mm-hmm. Alright, so we're back here. Think of a word. Oh, it's apparently the same word. Peristalsis or whatever it was? Mm-hmm. Huh, I don't think this is going to take me anywhere new. You're a character in a video game, I'm trying to win, but when you die, you get a game over. Does that mean you win now? I hope so. And everything breaks. Oh, soon enough though, you realize your mistake is actually just tentacles. Countless tentacles coming in from every window and opening, boiling up from the rolling waters beneath the restaurant. Not snakes at all, you think to yourself as Felicia's pulled out a window with a tentacle wrapped around her, over a foot in diameter. Just a sea monster. That's not going to go anywhere, is it? What the bloody hell do I do? What if I just go with this? Actually, I don't think I want to meet up tonight after all. She seems hurt that you canceled your plans. When you see her the next day, she's friendly enough, but there's a barrier between you now. You remain friendly acquaintances, but that's as far as it ever goes. You never do manage to ask her to dinner again. Eventually, she starts seeing someone else. Years later, they have started a life together, and are extremely happy. Sometimes you wonder if things might have gone differently. Not often, though. Because you have seen a lot of the ways it could have gone instead. And all of them are worse. On the balance, maybe this isn't such a bad place to end the story after all. Or at least an end. Oh. So that's one of them. See, when I first started this, I was thinking, actually, I don't think I want to meet up tonight after all. I was thinking, that's a ridiculous option. Isn't that just going to end the game? Like, who in a game would pick the option that ends the game? What's the point? And then I was thinking, maybe that is the point. I'm so single-mindedly focused on saving her, maybe I should just... Well, I mean, it's being caused by me going out to dinner with her, or being around her, so why don't I just not? You know, why do I have to be with her? I don't. So stop trying. The thing is, though, the design of this game makes me once again wonder, is that all? Or is there even more? How would I know? How do I know when I'm done? What does it even mean to be done? Am I done whenever I get an ending that I like? The ending that I just got, I kind of like. It's depressing, a bit, but she's alive. That's the most important thing. It's kind of painful to do, to reject her, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out whether I want to explore any deeper or just leave it at that. Once again, I have to say, I don't know. This is an incredibly fascinating game. It's made me introspective in ways... it's made me introspective to a degree that I didn't expect to find here. To a degree that I don't expect to find anywhere. I don't know if a game has ever done this to me. Ever. I mean, it's pretty easy for a game to say, okay, look, you're playing a game, and you can behave as if you're playing a game in universe of the game. You know, that's not a completely uncommon thing to do. To have the game basically just straight up recognize that you're playing a game. And it's easy to have that, and have it go nowhere. Like, nothing interesting comes from it, or maybe it's just like a joke. You know, hey, you're in a game, haha, yes, I know you're in a game, that's the joke. Like, sometimes it goes nowhere, or sometimes it's just a joke and it doesn't really go very far. But in this case, it's more. It's not just, you're in a game, there's the joke, the end. But there's more to it. It actually reminds me of the Stanley Parable, of all things. Even though how you interact with it and what it looks like is completely different from the Stanley Parable. Some of the things it attempts to do remind me of that, in that it's specifically recognizing the player as a player. Explicitly recognizing the player as a player in the game. Recognizing your different options and recognizing your attempts to beat the game. But as opposed to the Stanley Parable, this is making me even more introspective. It's making me really think. Have I beat the game? And then it's making me go deeper and think, do I want to beat the game? Does it even have any meaning to beat the game? You know, most games you can beat. You get to the end and it literally says the end or something like that. The credits roll and you're done. But here, is this how I beat the game, is to basically not play it, because the main part of the game is to save her and go out on a date and go out for dinner? Do I beat it by not doing any of that and just saying, no, let's not go out? That's it? I don't know, but I'm left thinking that this game is freaking brilliant. And I don't say that lightly. I'm blown away. Alright, well, I think I will end this without going any deeper, at least for the moment. I'm definitely going to read up on this game and read other people's experiences with it, and see if there's any big things that I've missed, which there probably are. It certainly feels like the sort of game where there's going to be a lot of stuff hidden within it. But yeah, I think I will end the video. I'll leave it here. Actually, I don't think I want to meet up tonight after all. Because you've seen a lot of the ways it could have gone instead, and all of them are worse. On the balance, maybe this isn't such a bad place to end the story after all.